Hello and welcome to our tutorial on how to draw a face. Let's get straight in with it. So you start with a circle. There's no need to draw around anything for this, it's just a guide. When you got your circle, I want you to draw a diagonal line down the middle and then your horizontal line. Measure from the middle to the bottom and duplicate that line. That will be where our chin falls, just out of shot there, apologies. Next step, you want to bring down what will be your jawline, the side of the face to the jaw, left and right of course, and then that will meet at the bottom. Draw a line from the top to the bottom, and you can then erase what was your horizontal line then, and the bottom of the ball if you wish. So this shows us a silhouette, if you like, of our face, or at least our skull structure. Next thing you want to do is half that whole drawing. So find your halfway point and put a line there for reference. Tidy up if you wish. Next thing, as soon as we've shored this up, I want you to half the distance from the centre line to the jawline, and then half that lower section again. So here we go for the top, we're halving from the middle line to the top of the head, and then that top portion we're putting in half. This gives us guidelines for where we can start building our face. So the first line here is where our eyes will be. Then we've got nose, and the next line down is lips. And that bottom line is there, that was out of focus, out of shot even. Above the eyes we've got the hairline. There's lots of methods to draw a face. This is just one of many. Next, what you want to do is separate the eye area into 5 equal sections. Now that might sound a bit much, but once you've had a little look, you can see what they're for. And then you draw your eyes. So that's giving literally guidelines for where you need to fit your elements that make a face. So when you're starting out, this sort of way of doing it is, well, it's really useful. Okay, so we're sketching in where our eyes are going to be. And they are always halfway down a face or halfway up, depending on which way you're looking at it. But this is generally always the case. I have seen some funny faces down here in sunny Newport. But nevertheless, this is the rule we're going to stick to help us develop our skills. So just outlining the eye there, till I'm happy with it. Next, of course, above the eye, we need some eyebrows. Now, if you're stuck on any of these bits, there will be other tutorials in the series which will show you how to draw eyes, nose, mouth, ears, and all the separate parts that make up our face. This is going to be a male one first. So we've got quite an angular chin and a jawline and thicker eyebrows, although I have seen some dubious ones around lately. When you got your eyes in place, I want you to draw a line from the corner of the eye, the inside corner. This gives us our boundary for the nose. Just having a clean up there. So as I said, inside of the eye, draw a line down to the nose line. And our nose will sit within those lines. All these lines need to be drawn quite lightly so we can erase them as we go along. I like to do a sort of seagull shape to show the very front of the nose and the nostrils, and then just step out slightly and put some brackets around it. Of course, if the face was turning another way, you would have to adopt a different technique. But these two tutorials will be about face on faces, not small faces. Okay, I am sketching and finding out where I want things. Still messing about with a nostril. In my own work, I don't usually use an eraser or a rubber. I like to just have lots of marks there. But as this is a tutorial, I'll try and keep things as clean as possible. When you're happy with your nose, you can see here I'm drawing a sort of triangle from along the centre line again. This is going to help us with our mouth, of course. So halfway up that triangle, oh, a bit more sketching. So between the nose line and the lips, I'm going to put a little squiggle in again. There we go, centre of the eyes down. That gives the outside edge of our mouth. So right for lips, I do a little curve. Again, that could be a seagull if we were doing watercolours, but we're not. And then extend the top part down to the edge. Where those points touch on the left and the right, that will give you the gap between the lips. And then underneath, a shallow U shape or a bowl shape. Again, it doesn't have to be drawn in really hard. This is a sketch. We are planning out what we're doing. If we don't like anything, we'll move it later on. It's all about the proportions for this exercise. Okay. We are furring out those eyebrows. Just an up and down motion with the pencil. Same on the other side, of course. There we go. Okay. It's beginning to take shape, although slightly wonky on the face, I think. But again, this can be improved on afterwards. Right, the hairline, where the hair is, you can see the side of the hair as it comes round from the ear, comes in a little there. I like to draw the hairline in between the drawn hairline and then that top one, because that will be the top of our head. And of course our hairline doesn't start on the top of our head unless you're quite unfortunate. Or your Aunt McPartlin. But anyway, here we go. Right, so we've got the basic shape of where that hairline might be. I'm going to draw silly hair like I have, so a bit of a quiff, if you can call it that. Longer on the top, shorter on the sides. Don't be stressed about this, it's meant to be a bit of fun. It's a starting point we're all at. And in just a few weeks, if you practice this, it will come very naturally to you. It's like anything, it's all about the practice. And there'll be a point where you won't have to draw the grid or write down what those lines are for, because you will know. And like I said, it will come naturally. Okay, ears. Ears start on the eye line down to the nose. I like to go up from the line first to get that lift where the ear comes out from the head, and then just make your way in as you come down towards the nose and curve it back in. A couple of wiggles on the inside. And I'm just trying to make them look as even as possible. So with this, you can see I'm pressing a little harder. I'm happy with that outside shape, so I'm going to draw it in as and when I see it. Back up to the hair. Needs to be darkened quite a bit, that. And that right hand side needs defining more. Okay. I'm thinking, what's next? Does he have a neck? Right. Otherwise he's just a head floating in space. Let's see. Now, we all come in lots of different shapes and sizes, but generally a gentleman's neck will be a lot wider than a lady's. Of course, it can't exceed where the jawline is, or indeed where the ears are, so we come just in slightly from where that jawline comes round and draw some lines down left and right. Coming in on the sides, is there a hint of cheekbone? I know mine are long gone, but this chap can have some. You're welcome. Cleaning up now. It's still not there yet. But I'm going to just clean it up nicely. Get rid of those guidelines. We don't really need those anymore. Have a brush down. And time to put some more detail in. So I'm lightening those lips there. At any point, as long as you're not hammering the paper and you're using a light enough brush, a light enough pencil, that is, not a brush, we're not there yet. You can erase and redefine or give your character a nose job if you're not happy with the nose, right the way till the end. So light marks until you get to a point where you're fairly happy with it. So you can see I've got a darker pencil here now. I'm just defining some of the shapes there. And immediately with that little bit of smudging and some shade on it, that nose has come right forward, giving us that 3D shape. Over on the lips, again, you can change the shape if you want to as you're going along. That's what sketching is about. Lightly planning or even suggesting where things could be until you're happy with it, and then you put in a firmer line. Redefine the eyes. I think that one went a little bit skew-iff. But again, we come in all shapes and sizes. A little bit of shading. You can see how I'm holding the pencil almost flat to the page, and that means you're not going to get one thin hard line. It's very good for shading when you hold the pencil on the side like that. You've got more of the nib touching the paper. Right, firming in. This probably looks as close to the finished product at the moment without any major surgery on him. I think this looks like this might be the one. There we go, seem to have forgotten that eyebrow from earlier. Darkening it up. A lot of it is about, well, trying to get, not a mirror image, but you want things in proportion from left to right. A little bit of neck, bit of shading. Of course, under the eye, brow. And under the nose, the lips and the chin, there's going to be shade. So you may have seen this technique before. Put down a softer pencil and then use my finger to smooth it all in. Give it a nice gradation on the shade. Up to the eyes. Again, there will be a more in-depth tutorial about eyes, but for now, we're just getting the positioning right. And this is the basics. This is just one way to draw a face, but I found it helped me get it nearly right anyway. I think judging by this one, I need a little more practice, but still, these are the basic principles. So with that slightly darker pencil, I'm now defining each shape that I'm happy with. Got the eyes in there. The hair's looking pretty good. The shading's not too bad. I mean, we could go on, not much more, but we could go on. But I think for this tutorial, you know, I think we are nearly there. Bring those lips out a little bit more. Maybe some slight shading in there. A little bit under the bottom lip. You don't have to draw that lip in. I mean, we know it's there. I think perhaps the top lip is a little bit harsh with that firm line around it. But still, this is just the basics. And hopefully with these little steps, bit by bit, you can come up with your own portrait. Little more shade, and I think we are nearly done. Yeah, nearly there. It's as if it's too difficult to stop. So there we have it. Remember, we had a hairline, the eye line, the nose and the lips. We started with our circle, and there we go. That's going to be it. That's the male for this one. How to draw a face. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.